Good morning, children. This video is for children who work in the Obelisk group, and today you're going to be recognizing and writing decimal equivalents of tenths and hundredths and how we can partition these into their separate values. A lot of your worksheet today will be displaying fractions, but we can use our knowledge of decimal fractions from yesterday to support our learning. Now here we've got 79 hundredths and written as a decimal fraction 0.79. Now here it says we've got 7 tenths and 9 hundredths. So we're going to partition this. So we can draw, we've written our fraction here, and now we're going to split this. So we've got 7, as we said, 7 tenths. So we're going to write 7 tenths. And here we're going to write 9 hundredths. 9 hundredths. And if we were to recombine these, it would give us the answer of 79 hundredths. 7 tenths plus 9 hundredths equals 79 hundredths. Questions today will ask you to write numbers, the answer in different ways. So if we've taken 79 hundredths, you can write it as 7 tenths plus 9 hundredths. You can write it, so this is one way. This is a second way. This is a third way if it gives you a visual representation. A fourth way is writing in words. So we can write 79 hundredths. And another way is how we've added these together by partition, we can partition these numbers as well. So if we take this down towards here, we can do, because we've got no value in the ones, so we don't need to worry about that. We can partition our decimal fraction. So we can write 0.7 add 0.09. And this would be the same. This is another way of writing 79 hundredths. So that's one way, children, of when we're trying to partition numbers. This is the most common way when we partition a fraction. But so some questions, as I've said, will ask you to identify other ways of writing a given fraction. So you can use this to help you answer this question. But the main focus is going to be partitioning fractions. Now we're going to have another look at another one just to help us. And this time we've got 40 hundredths. Now this question is quite a key one to look at, because what we need to realise is that in our decimal fraction here, we've got 4 tenths and 0 hundredths. So if we partition that, we can write we've got 4 tenths, but we've got 0 hundredths. Now, if there is no hundredths, we don't need to worry about it. The reason why we don't have any is because 4 tenths is the same as 40 hundredths. It has the same value. Because if we look at the decimal fraction, 0.4 is the same as 0.40. So this is where we will have a question that identifies this, and it's asking you to write different ways of how could we write 40 hundredths. It's got a visual representation. Now the answer is not going to be 40 hundredths, it's going to be a different value, but I'm giving you an example where we have a multiple of 10 as our numerator here in our fraction. So two ways of writing it is 40 hundredths and 4 tenths. Again, we can write this in another way. We can write this as a decimal fraction. We could write it as another decimal fraction, 0.4. And again, we can write it in two different ways. In words, we can write 4 tenths, or we could write 40 hundredths. And that's another way of trying to identify how we can write 40 hundredths in different variations. The last one I'm going to show you is a question that's going to allow you to recombine. So if we took the value of 3/10 as a fraction and we have 6/100ths, and it wants us to add these two together to make our given fraction. Now, to help us, we're going to use decimal fractions to support our answer. So we know we've got a value in the tenths, and we know we've got a value in the hundredths. And with this, we're going to put our value of each value into our decimal fraction. So we know we've got no holes, so we put a 0 there. We have 3/10 and we've got 6/100ths. So we can go here, so we know that our numerator is going to be 36, and because we've got this value, we're doing it out of hundredths, because we've got a value in the hundredths, we're going to put our denominator as 100. Now that's your input for today's lesson. If you do have any problems, you can rewatch the video, pause it at certain points, have a go through and all the questions. There are some fluency questions and some reasoning, so enough to challenge you and push yourself to really consolidate your learning on today's learning. If you do have any other problems which you can't answer through the video, you're more than welcome to give me an email. Best of luck.